I'm already mentally preparing for the comments that are like, oh my god, of course, another vegan mentioning that they're vegan again. I'm waiting. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't think I've ever said that before. Today we're talking about my problem with vegans as a vegan because I need to start some sort of beef. That was unintentional, but that was a very good transition. Get it? Because beef. Anyway, very, very stupid joke. In honor of Veganuary, I decided to make a video called My Problem with Vegans as a vegan myself. Which seems kind of wrong because I'm coming at people who are trying to promote the movement and everything, and I'm all for the movement, obviously, because I am a vegan. Hear me out, it'll all make sense as the video goes on. I just think that some things need to be discussed about vegans, and I don't think that the vegan community or whatever talks enough about it. I don't even know if people know that I'm vegan, probably, because I do make jokes about it in my videos. Before we dive deeper into this video, make sure that you subscribe if you want to be nasty. If not, you're disgusting. Also, make sure you have your bell notifications on so you know every single time I post, or else you are gross. I'm getting better at not slurring completely. Still a little bit, but you know. I guess I'll give a little bit of a backstory about my vegan journey because I don't really talk about it on this channel, and I'll kind of go into why I don't like talking about it. I used to go into Applebee's all the time, and I would get their like grilled chicken covered in like tortilla chips and lime. I think it was like their Fiesta lime chicken or something like that, and it was delicious. I found out that I have a bunch of food sensitivities a few years prior to gluten, milk, soy, and eggs, so I already wasn't eating anything with milk or eggs, except sometimes I did cheat and I would eat a whole lot of things with dairy in it, and then I would feel so sick. It was really bad. But I just remember I would watch YouTube videos, and a lot of my favorite YouTubers were becoming vegan or talking about veganism, and I was getting more and more curious and interested in it. I decided to kind of take a look-see at it, but I didn't take anything too seriously, and every single time I would order this chicken, I would just be like, God, I really want to go vegan, but I'm just gonna miss this chicken so bad. And you know, the thought that I would miss an Applebee's meal the most out of everything is beyond me now. Last time I went to Applebee's, it was like over a year ago, and I threatened to beat up my friend's boyfriend at the time because he sucked really, really bad. I didn't, but they're not together anymore. So I remember when I was a little girl, I told my grandmother that I wanted to be a vegetarian because I just love animals so much. I literally wanted to be a veterinarian when I was little, and my grandma laughed and said, Nicole, we're Polish. You can't be vegetarian. I remember I was going through like a really big transitional period in my life. I went through a breakup. I was obsessed with Prince. I found out that Prince was vegan, and I think that kind of convinced me to like look a little bit more into veganism. I initially went vegan for the animals, and then later on learned more about the benefits for my health and the environment, and I was like, this is what I want to do with my time. But the way that it kind of convinced me to go vegan, I just remember like coming home from school the one day and watching a lot of, I don't recommend this. Well, I don't want to recommend this because it's not it wasn't the best for like my mental health. It kind of like coerced me into going vegan, definitely. I'm just being 100% honest on my channel on how I did it, but I'm not recommending this. I watched animal abuse videos and like circuses. I also was watching Freely the Banana Girl at the time because I did not know that Freely was not a great person to watch. I had no idea anything about like Freely whatsoever, other than her like screaming at Trisha Paytas all the time. Kind of stumbled upon the whole train of vegan videos, and eventually, I just decided that same day, I'm going vegan tomorrow. And for me, it was very easy because I was a junior in high school. I lived at home. I didn't have like my own groceries. So any of the food that we already had at home, it's not like I had to throw away or get rid of or anything. My family could just eat it, but I decided to go vegan cold turkey. I didn't really transition, but I guess in a sense it kind of was a transition because I already didn't have milk and eggs in my diet. So it really was just cutting out meat. And I thought for me it was going to be a lot harder, but it was actually pretty easy. Don't remember like telling my parents. I just remember that they didn't believe me that it was gonna last, and they were like, okay, Nicole, yeah, sure, you're gonna go vegan. And I was like, I'm being serious. My entire family did not cook vegan. It was just me cooking for myself vegan. And also like a lot of separation. So if my mom was making like chili. She would make one pot with vegan ground beef and then the rest would be for them with regular beef. Like just little things like that. And then later on that year, I got into weightlifting and I did a lot more research about nutrition and what I needed in my body. So I became a lot more knowledgeable on food, especially vegan food. And I remember a lot of people telling me I would not be able to gain weight, gain muscle, gain mass, or get swole if I was a vegan. But I did it. And I would say like 5 years later, I don't think too much has changed other than I've become even more knowledgeable on food and nutrition. And I was a nutrition minor at one point at my college. I think the biggest difference is that now there are vegan options wherever I go. Before, when I would go out to restaurants with my friends in high school, there was no vegan options anywhere. Or I would go to the grocery store and there was not that many vegan options, but now there's something for everyone, always, and it's amazing, it's wonderful. I often get asked why I don't make videos about veganism or why I don't make what I eat in a days or any of that. To be honest, it's because I am scarred from the comments that I have seen on my own previous what I eat in a day videos and any videos that I talk about veganism, and also other people's what I eat in a day videos and all of that jazz. Food is a very sensitive, touchy topic as someone who has disordered eating habits in the past and sometimes even currently, so it's a little bit hard for me to make a whole video showing thousands of people what I eat in a day and accepting that there will be judgment on it. Anytime I would make videos of like my morning routine, my night routine, and people would see what I eat, I would get comments about portions and I'm not doing it right and how I'm not a good vegan and talking about the macros in my meal, and I don't like that. I don't like other people analyzing what I'm eating, and I just don't really feel comfortable putting it on the internet. And guess what? That's okay, because there's so many other amazing vegan YouTubers who will show you what they eat in a day. They feel comfortable doing so, and they've helped me a lot because they give me recipe ideas. So I'm going to mention some at the end of this video, some that I recommend, and also in the description box. And I think one of my main issues with vegans is that I think that they are pushing other new vegans away, especially in like Veganuary. I mean, I haven't seen anything firsthand this month, but just from my experiences online in the past, if there were some new vegans around on the internet, I would see a lot of vegans nitpicking what they do and being very policey. I think it might be a quote about sustainability or something, but I think it also applies to veganism. We don't need 100 perfect vegans. It would be amazing if we could just have plenty of people who make more conscious choices about what they are eating and how it affects the environment, the animals, and their body to make a difference. Like, what has a greater impact? Me never consuming any type of animal product at all in my lifestyle, ever, or 10 people not eating meat for one day of the week? It's the second option. And I say this all because I can reflect back on my prior decisions as a vegan, and I used to be a policey, judgy vegan. I wasn't very outward with it, especially not online. But definitely to like my friends and family, I would be very, very judgy and policey, and that's not right. And I apologize to anyone that I've ever done that to. I think a lot of it came from me feeling insecure and a lot of people not believing in my diet or anything. So I felt a little bit higher and mighty because I was vegan, and I felt like what I was doing was the better choice and the higher choice. I didn't like it when people put me down, so I think I equally try to put them down too, which is not right. Now today, I like to consider myself a very imperfect vegan. Now, personally, I don't cheat. I don't have non-vegan meals ever. I have had accidentally a bowl of non-vegan chili. I thought it was vegan. I knew it tasted funny. I called my mom. I said, the vegan chili was in the blue container, right? And she's like, no, it was in the red. And then that's when I found out I ate a whole bowl of meat. My bowels, not good. Not good at all. But I consider myself an imperfect vegan in the sense that I still have products that are animal products in my possession. This is all based off of preference and what other people choose to enjoy and not enjoy. But for me personally, I am not bothered by wearing leather if it is secondhand or a hand-me-down. Like, for example, my mom gave me a leather jacket and it's getting some use and love out of it, and I personally think that's a whole lot better than it ended up in the landfill. I have secondhand leather belts, I have secondhand leather jackets, I have secondhand leather shoes. For example, my comforter right now is made out of down, which is feathers, because this is all I have at home. It's very, very warm. We just use what we have in our spare closet for comforters. And yes, I would like to buy my own new comforter for when I move out into my own apartment, but I'm not right now, so I don't need a new comforter, so I'm just gonna use the one that I have now. Does it give me really bad allergies? Yes, so I am in the market for a new comforter. My mom gifted me these set of wool balls that you throw into the laundry to make your clothes fluffy, you know, in the dryer and everything. I love them. They're amazing. And they are made out of wool. But like I said, it was a gift. And if I wasn't going to use them, then they were probably going to end up in the trash. Either it's old or by accident I have, and in my possession, have non-vegan makeup. Same thing with skincare. It's really, really tricky because sometimes a website will say that something is vegan and then you'll find out that it's not. I thought my mascara was vegan, found out it isn't. I already used it. So if I'm going to go back to Ulta and return it, it's going to end up in the trash. I might as well just use it up, help out the environment, and just say, oopsie, better luck next time. Just gonna do a little bit more research on it the next time that I go buy a new mascara. That's personally my own belief with veganism, and I know some people are not gonna agree with me, and that's okay. What isn't okay though is making people feel like shit for their own personal decisions. Because in my mind, I have positive intent, I'm thinking of the environment, and I'm doing my best. And I really think that's all that matters. I know sometimes I would wear an outfit and I would wear shoes that were either gifted to me by my family or they're secondhand and they're leather, and I would avoid like posting a picture of it because I'm like, no, that can't be seen on the internet because someone's gonna get mad that they're leather shoes. I probably should stop caring so much what other people think on the internet, especially if they don't know me, because I don't have to explain my every waking move. You know what I mean? And I think that this kind of mentality of policing others or making others feel bad for their choices, especially vegans who are already trying their best, I think it doesn't allow room for mistakes, especially from new vegans. And how discouraging is that to be like a new vegan and thinking that you're doing something awesome for the environment and for the animals and for your health. You're like, I'm so excited to start this new journey, this is so exciting, and then it's just a bunch of people who are being mean to others and making others feel like shit for just trying to do their best with positive intent. I have some tips. I have tips for new vegans and I have tips for current vegans, because I would have liked to hear these tips when I was a new vegan, and I think I need to be reminded sometimes of these tips for current vegans. New vegans, whether it's Veganuary or anytime onward that you're trying to embark on this vegan journey, welcome. So I know a lot of times you'll hear like, oh, you can go vegan little by little. Awesome. That works great for some people to go vegan little by little. And sometimes they'll tell you not to go vegan cold turkey. I personally went vegan cold turkey. Meaning, well, that's not a very vegan term, but I personally went vegan cold turkey because I just decided to go vegan the next day. I had the luxury of living with my parents, my groceries being bought for me, and I also cooked for myself too. But I can definitely see how this would be an issue for someone who lives alone and has a pantry filled with non-vegan products, and you're like, what now? So use with your discretion, obviously. Personally, I am just not a person who can ease into something like that. When I set my mind to something and I want to do something, I just do it. And so I just decided from that day I was going to be vegan, and ever since then I just have been vegan. This gets me into my next point. Please research about nutrition. I did so much research about nutrition to make sure that I wasn't malnourished. Veganism actually helped with my anemia. My mom and my doctor were very concerned for me because I had a history of being anemic and having very, very, very low iron. I was on iron supplements and nothing was helping. And it wasn't until I went to go donate blood that I got rejected. I got rejected to try and give blood like 3 or 4 times. That's a whole different story. It wasn't until that they tested my iron that they said, beautiful iron. I was like, did someone say beautiful iron? Thank you. I get blood work done every 6 months, by the way, with my doctor, and it was confirmed there too that I have beautiful iron, and I genuinely feel so much healthier now because I am way more conscientious of what I am putting into my body, making sure that I am getting enough fat, protein, carbs, micronutrients, all the good stuff. It seems very complicated at first because it does seem like a foreign language, but I love talking about nutrition and I love learning about nutrition. Just please be well versed with your research. Make sure that you are eating enough and that you are feeling well and hydrated and strong and healthy throughout your time. Another tip is to only get rid of your belongings if you want to. Don't let anyone force you into getting rid of your leather belts that you may own, or your leather shoes, or your leather jackets, unless you truly genuinely want to. While yes, the leather industry is very awful and terrible, if you already have that in your possession, you getting rid of it, it may end up in the landfill. So if you are personally uncomfortable with owning that leather item, maybe give it to a friend, or you can still donate it. But I don't think that you directly have to resort to tossing it into the trash just because it is not a vegan item, because that item can still serve its purpose and be used and get love from it. Then the next time that you need a new jacket, you can try to find a vegan alternative. I just say this because a lot of vegans feel like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, I have a leather couch and I have all these wool products. What do I do with all of this? And it's like, only what you want to. You don't have to be this perfect vegan who gets rid of their leather couch and the interior of their car because of a choice that you made in the past and not when you were vegan. And then my last tip, if you need any vegan YouTubers to get any recipes from or any tips, here are some that I recommend, some of my favorites. I don't watch too many vegan YouTubers, but I do really like What I Eat in a Day from select people because I really like to get some inspiration for some meals, because I do only make Gigi Hadid's vodka pasta most of the time without the vodka. And here's my tips for the current vegans. Start being kinder to others, especially those who are trying their absolute best. It's not necessary to be an asshole. I used to be an asshole. And especially don't be assholes to people who don't necessarily want to be vegan, or you're like forcing and egging on to be vegan. Like I said, I used to do this, and I realized that the best approach to this all is, and it's a lot less mentally draining, is if you just provide information if people are interested about it. I promise you way more people are interested in talking about veganism with me when I was less invasive about it and more people were just asking questions. And I've had quite a few friends actually transition to being vegan after me just having a normal chat with them doing some more research, me helping them out with recipes or foods I recommend, and now I have friends who are vegan for years, and it's very cool to see. Another tip is to also be kinder to yourself. You know what? You don't have to beat yourself up if the chapstick that you bought was accidentally not vegan. I got really upset when I found out that some of my skincare products were not vegan, and I was like, oh my god, I've been promoting this to my audience. I feel so terrible. And then I just realized, like, you're already doing a lot by not eating animal products every day. You're okay that you made an honest mistake. And you know what? I definitely will make mistakes from here on out. Life will go on, and I will try to make better decisions in the future or be more conscientious, but there's no point in beating yourself up over it. It's really okay. My last tip is to consider if your activism for veganism is actually inclusive. By that I mean, I see a lot of vegans, especially on TikTok for some reason, just trying to convince people to be vegan and how it's cheaper than a regular diet and how beans and rice are already cheaper and vegan, not really realizing that not everyone has access to grocery stores as they may. I learned about this a lot when I was in college, and I think a big reason had to do with the fact that I went to school in North Philadelphia, and we were practically in a food desert other than my campus, really, because there was a grocery store right on campus. But in the surrounding areas, there are basically no grocery stores. So if you are someone who is commuting through subway transportation, or you may not have a car, or you can't travel that far, it's very difficult to have accessible, healthy food available ready to you. And a lot of times people are choosing the cheapest and most easiest attainable items that they can get. The system was purposely designed the way that it was, and cities and food deserts and restaurants and fast food was specifically designed the way it was. It's not a mistake at all. I think a lot of times people need to realize that their activism for veganism really isn't good. It's not good, and there's a time and place for it, and I don't think it's the place to judge others or say what they should be doing when they are already struggling to get food in the first place, or perhaps they have cultural reasons as to why they are vegan, or maybe medical reasons as to why they are vegan. And sometimes Or a lot of times, it's just simply not our business what other people are eating. And I know people have just positive intentions and they want to help the animals out and they want to help the environment out and they just want people to feel great. And you can create programs or some sort of education to help others who do want help with this. Sometimes it's just not our place to be giving advice on food to people who don't want it from you. And don't need it from you either. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm a whole lot mellower today, but I hope you guys enjoyed because I enjoyed making this video. Make sure that you leave a like if you like this video because it helps me out so much. Also, make sure that you leave a comment. Anything you want about veganism, questions, because I may be answering some. And if you're a vegan yourself, and how long, just because I'm curious. Make sure that you subscribe if you want to be nasty, and also make sure you have your bell notifications on so you know every single time I post or else you are gross. If you want to follow me on my other social media like Instagram, Twitter, Depop, Spotify, it's just at Nicole Rafiee. And if you want to follow me on my TikTok, it's at Nikki Nasty. Speaking of Depop, I have clothes up on there, so if you want to go buy some, go buy some. I've worn them on my body at one point or another. I'm gonna go eat a vegan snack. Could be celery, could be cookie butter. You never know. Bye!